Service animals. Everyone has at least heard of some type of them, you know, I see in dogs. However, and it's becoming more and more aware, like awareness is spreading more and more about the different types of service animals that exist in terms of their uses. You know, they can be used to help people with epilepsy or even mental health issues like PTSD, especially. However, the diversity in the type of animal hasn't exactly changed a whole heck of a lot, and I think this is an issue. Now, it's for the most part service dogs, and that's it. Now, there has been some rise in the States, particularly, but also elsewhere, of miniature ponies being service animals. And that's especially helpful for people who have motor issues because, you know, the the pony can MS, for example, I think is and also other disorders, but like I'm trying to think of a specific one that comes to mind that would affect. Anyways, so because they can lean on the horse, whereas if they did that to a dog, it could cause some issues with the dog, whereas a horse is very strong and sturdy. And it can help them with everyday tasks as well as if they are starting to have issues with their sensory or their balance or their, you know, proprioception or something like that, then the service animal can still help with that. However, especially with service animals for mental issues, why is it only dogs? Because, you know, there are a variety of animals that are extremely intelligent and no offense to dogs or anything, actually more intelligent than dogs, and that are perfectly capable of completing the necessary services and tasks that service animals provide, and yet dogs are the only ones protected under the law. Well, dogs and miniature horses in the States, but in Canada here, it's only dogs. So, why is that? Because, seriously, for example, if we just want to look, you know, just look at animals in general, pigs are more easily trained than dogs. They can train quicker, and they can do more tasks more efficiently and with less, you know, issues than a dog can. But here's another one that a lot of people that people kind of scoff at, but cats. Why not cats? Because cats are used very widely along with dogs as therapy animals, especially if you're not aware what a therapy animal is. They're animals that either people own as their pets or that will go to, you know, like hospitals or community centers or whatever to help people if they're, you know, to help them feel better emotionally. And they're just basically very relaxed and able to have a lot of people, you know, interacting with them at a time. And they just, you know, act as they're just therapeutic to be pet and interacted with. So they don't have a lot of training. So a lot of people are like, well, that's different. But the thing is that cats are very capable of providing the services that a PTSD, for example, service animal would provide. And here's the thing, is that unlike dogs, they don't even need outside training to provide it. Yeah, here's the thing, because I know from my own personal experience, I wish I could show you my adorable little cat, but he's not living with me right now because I'm in community housing and I'm not allowed to have my cat here because he is not classified as a service animal. So he's living at a friend's house, so I go visit him a shit ton. But anyways, well, he's going to be living at a friend's house right now. He's at my parents' place, but very soon he's moving to my friend's place, who's gonna be living downtown with me, or living downtown. I live downtown. Irrelevant. So because here's the thing, what does a PTSD service animal do? So when a person with PTSD, like myself, is suffering, gets triggered, and if you're gonna laugh at that, I have made videos, I made a video all about how being triggered is an actual medical term. But anyways, so if they get triggered and they start to experience a bout of anxiety, aggression, panic attack, or a flashback, and so the service animal can sense it, and then they come and then they help the person through it. They help them calm down, they help them, you know, whatever. And then also, if the PTSD person, another symptom of PTSD, is suffering severe nightmares or night terrors. So a PTSD service animal can sense it again, and then they'll come and wake the human up, and then comfort them afterwards. And even they'll help with issues of depression. They'll help the human, remind them to do tasks, get out of bed, to do stuff like that. And they'll, you know, if the human is about to do something dangerous to themselves, then they can stop the human from doing it. And they can help the human with hypervigilance by, you know, either standing guard for them or maybe searching the house upon command, general stuff like that. And you know what? My cat, Bear, this adorable fluffy black cat, does every single one of those things. And he didn't get any professional training, he just figured it all out for himself. And the biggest thing too is that when I'm having a flashback, he doesn't even touch me until he meows softly nearby me. And then if I say, "Not now, Bear," then he leaves me, he stays nearby, but he doesn't bother me anymore. But if I open up my arms to him, he climbs right up to me, he climbs right up to me and then lets me just hold him while shaking and crying. He doesn't expect any pets or anything, he just wants me to feel better. He wakes me up from nightmares by, you know, gently touching my shoulder or my face with his paw, or even just like grooming my face a little, like licking slightly, which is what cats do to comfort each other. Just gently waking me up, and then he presses himself up against my chest to help calm me down while purring as loud as he can, which has the deep touch stimulation, which has been proven to you know, reduce anxiety, but also the purring helps reduce anxiety as well. And if I'm feeling extremely anxious or hypervigilant, he'll towards the rest of the room or by the door, in between me and the door, he will like sit or lay facing it or standing guard. He's done it all night even. And he'll, you know, bug me to follow him to the bathroom so I can start my nighttime routine to go to bed if I'm staying up too late because I'm just so out of it, I'm not noticing how much time is passing. Or he'll bug me to go eat if I'm forgetting to eat. And even if my depression gets bad enough that I'll end up wanting to self-harm, then he would, like, as soon as he saw the weapon in my hand, he would plant himself at my feet and he would stare up at me until I'd put it down. And I always would, because I could never do it when he was staring at me, like, right? So, and then he'd come in and comfort me and everything else. And so he would, and that's just a little bit of what he would do. And he just was constant. He follows me around the house too, and he's always excited to see me and all this other stuff. And he figured it all out by himself. And he's not some random case either. Lots of people talk about how, like, every single cat I've ever had, ever met, whenever they sense their human is upset, they try to calm them down. Whenever they can tell when you're having a nightmare, and they will like curl up on your chest and start purring to try and calm you down because they know their human is unhappy, they're upset. And if the nightmare keeps getting worse, they'll try to wake you up because they know they can figure it out. And this is just their innate ability. This is just them. This is what they do naturally. So why the hell haven't anyone else in the official whatever figured out that they would make perfect service animals for people with PTSD? Because, like, they are phenomenal for it. And even, like, I likely have autism, and if I'm having a meltdown or something, then if I'm starting to get upset, then he'll, like, come to me like, "Oh, are you okay?" and everything else, and then he'll try to comfort me there before it even gets too bad. And then I'll end up being so worried about hurting him because he's right there that I'll be like restricting myself and just focusing that energy into petting him instead. And that's, you know, that stimming of petting something soft and just repetitive motion, while also the auditory stimming and the sensory stimming of the purring, it helps calm me right down. And it's so effective. And that's part of why I'm struggling here is, yes, I'm in a mental health program that is helping a lot, but I'm struggling because I can't have my cat with me. And they understand that, and they said, we wish we could, but it's just the policy of the building because it's a community building. So it's community housing building, so we just can't let like one person do it because unfortunately your cat isn't protected under the law. So if I had a service dog, I could have him here, but since he's a cat, it's not protected. So kind of frustrating. And for anyone says, well, you can't take your cat with you outside. Well, actually, especially since there's a lot of awareness campaigns towards the dangers of letting your cats out, like going out on their own. There's an increasing amount of people who take their cats for walks. And so, and I've actually considered training my cat to go on a leash outside, and also even around my neighborhood, my cat will follow me around still. So when it's near the house while outside, so it's just when I get too far away from the house, he's like, I don't know this territory, I'm just gonna not. So, but if he was on a leash or something, like if I could easily train him to do that, because he responds well to training when it comes to me, because to him I'm his whole world. And also, that's another thing, is that it helps prevent my depression, like from getting to the levels of suicide, because something that I always think in my head, I might not mean much to the world, but I mean the world to him. So, because he loves me and cares about me so much. So, and also just playing with him, also like helps with my, chase away the blues, I say, because it's just so cute and it's so adorable and it just makes me laugh and makes me happier and everything else. So it's good for him and it's good for me. And also just taking care of something helps with my depression as well, even if it's just scooping his litter box or giving him food. And it helps, and so that's why it works. So yeah, well, first of all, in general, pets are extremely important for mental health, but also, why, the big message I've said over and over again, why is it only dogs? But even more than that, why not also, there's other animals that are extremely intelligent and trainable, like rats. And rats can go sit on your shoulder too, and you can take them places sitting on your shoulder. And they're extremely intelligent, and they're more intelligent than dogs, and they can be trained to do tricks and stuff just like a dog. So they can easily be trained, and people have trained them to be their therapy animals that they take with them places even too. So granted, rats don't live very long, that's the one issue with them, but and like ferrets make amazing therapy animals, I'm just saying. But they are a lot more work to take care of. But yeah, so that's just my 2 cents. Thanks for watching.